Hey guys, welcome to Hit Cricket, your source for cricket analysis, commentary, and fun. I'm Rahul, your host, and today we're going to start a new section of our YouTube channel where we're going to be talking about some of the gems and steals of the IPL auction who could go for cheap money but make a big impact on a team, and some of the lesser known Indian players who might be able to make an impact in the IPL. And just a fair warning, we're not doing this in any specific order. We're just going to list players and how they could potentially make an impact on various teams. So the first name I have up is Ashwin Hebbar, who's a top order batter, played extremely well in the Andhra Premier League that just concluded, won man of the matches in both the semi-final and the final game. And he's someone who can handle pressure really well, as we saw him play match-winning knocks for his Andhra Premier League team. He averages 32 in T20 cricket with a strike rate of 128. That's a Basra or a combined batting average and strike rate of 160, which is pretty good for T20 cricket considering that he's a top order batsman whose role is to anchor the innings and make sure that the team gets through to a good score. So as far as that's concerned, he has both a great batting average and a strike rate that can be perfectly suitable for the T20 games on more tougher conditions. So he's only 29 years of age, so he still has age on his side and can be groomed to be a really good player for any IPL team. While he was part of the DC squad in the past, he didn't really get any chances to showcase his skills. So I feel that on the more trickier pitches, a conventional batter like him would be very useful. I would love to see a Lucknow Super Giants or Sunrise Hyderabad, for that matter, his home team, just bid for him and just take him and try and give him an opportunity at the top of the order to showcase what he has. Because he is an amazing player who has shown his skill in the Andhra Premier League and in other T20 competitions. And he has a record to back it up. Next up is the left-handed wicketkeeper batter Robin Minz. Now, while Robin Minz has was picked by the Gujarat Titans last season, he got an injury and couldn't really participate in the tournament, so never really got a chance. But he was picked as a backup to Riddhiman Saha, and he's an attacking player and he's a middle order batter. And I saw some of his shots, man. He looks a lot like Rishabh Pant. You know, he can hit the one-handed sixes. It reminds me a lot of how Rishabh Pant plays. So I definitely bid for Robin Minz up to 3 to 4 crores and try and secure him because he could be a solid middle order wicket keeping option that you can get for a steal. Basically, you can get a batter similar to Rishabh Pant, and since he's only 22 years of age, you can groom him to be someone like a Rishabh Pant, except get him for really cheap and just develop him. So that's a real good wicket keeping option that you can have and just groom. So yeah, having seen him, I was just amazed to see his shots and how aggressive a player he is. He doesn't have much of a first class record to back it up, but the shots he plays are simply sensational. So Robin Minz is a name to definitely keep an eye out for. Next is the leg break bowler Chintal Gandhi. Now, while he's not known to be a huge wicket taker and he's not a really big name in the circuit at the moment, he's someone who's a very economical bowler and bowls more flatter and quicker through the air and can be really useful on difficult pitches to bowl on. For example, like the Chinnaswamy Stadium or the Wankhede Stadium. You know, the Wankhede Stadium's always been conducive to spinners. We've seen the likes of Mayank Markande flourish there, Rahul Chahar flourish there, you know, legends like Harbhajan Singh flourish there. So a key spinner is always useful for someone playing at the Wankhede Stadium and on other grounds like Bengaluru and Hyderabad where it's so hard to defend runs. Someone who bowls quicker through the air and can give you that economical output uh, would be very useful, and that's what Chintal Gandhi does. He doesn't give away runs that easily, and the only drawback to him though is that he's 30 years of age, but you can still groom him and use him. Like a Swapnil Singh was brought into RCB and he's 32 years of age, but he was still able to make an impact for the team. That kind of player, maybe later on through the season when the pitches wear out, he can be someone who can be very useful and impactful. Next up, I have a very young sensation, Ayush Matre, a right-hand batter from Mumbai. Now, we've not seen too much about him, but he did hit a century in a first-class game recently, and it was simply breathtaking to watch. He was also called up to CSK trials, and he impressed the great Tala Mahendra Singh Dhoni himself with his batting. And he's just 17 years old, so any team can just pick him up for base price or just a bit over base price and groom him into a real sensational batter. Like how Rutraj Gaikwad came from Chennai Super Kings as a nobody to their captain, leader, and their frontline batter right now. Ayush Matre could be picked up by a CSK, having impressed Dhoni, and be groomed in that fashion to be the next Rutraj Gaikwad, maybe also. Who knows? So I feel that just since he's 17 years old, you can pick him up at base price and just groom him and see where he comes up in the next 3 years. And who knows, potentially he could be a retention option in the future as well, having batted this well at such a young age. And finally, for this episode, the last name I have on the list is Anuj Rawat. Now, Anuj Rawat is a more well heard name than these other four I've mentioned, purely because of the IPL experience he's had playing for the Royal Challengers Bengaluru in the last couple of years. He's a left-hand batter, wicket keeper. He can open an innings, and we've seen him finish innings for RCB in the past. Now, but the thing is, he's been a very underrated commodity throughout. Now, I know Anuj Rawat hasn't really produced for RCB, barring one or two innings, but the fact is that he can give such a versatile role. He can open the batting for you and go off in the power play. He can come later in the order and finish an innings like we saw for RCB in one game against Rajasthan Royals. And he's an excellent wicket keeping option. If you saw at the beginning of last year, his keeping was outstanding. He was leaping up for balls, collecting them very well, and he gives you a very stable keeper option as well. And we saw him play that fascinating knock against the Chennai Super Kings at Chepauk last year in the first game of the season. And as an RCB fan, I was awestruck by it because the team was in trouble and he was able to bail them out with so much composure, handling of pressure. So I feel like he's someone who won't go for too much in the auction purely because he doesn't have the numbers to back it up. But the skill set he brings and the various positions he can bat in, I feel make him a really good option for a team who needs a low price wicket keeping option, either for opening or playing in the middle order or finishing an innings. So these are the five Indian players that I think would be really cheap in the auction but can make an impact. In the next video, I'll discuss another five players who would be in the similar category, not costing too much money but can make a huge impact on the team as a whole. Until then, goodbye.